Hey there on Instagram. How are you, gorgeous peeps? You look great. I can tell how cute you look just by tuning into you there. Good to see you. Hey there on Facebook. How are you, my gorgeous Facebook design divas? It is so good to be with you all. I am literally back from the Furniture Highpoint Market a couple hours ago, fresh off the airplane. I think I did plane like 3 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago. I painted on a little bit of makeup so I didn't just look like I'm as tired as I really am. And I'm excited to be out here with you talking design. If you are new to me here, I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the interior design advocate, and I advocate on behalf of design lovers everywhere. Whether you're working on your own home, you can take one of my great online courses, or whether you are a designer yourself and you're trying to build a business that you will love being in, that it will be highly profitable, really enjoyable to run, I've got stuff for you there too. I'm Donna Hoffman, also running right now a company called Interiors by Donna Hoffman, but we may be doing a little name change. I'll keep you posted on that. And I'm a luxury design company owner, and I'm the lead designer inside my company. I have a great team that works with me as well. I feel grateful to have won the awards that we have won and continue to win, and we work on incredible projects with incredible clients. One of our big niches in luxury design is whole home design, build, construction, renovation, etc. So I love to teach design when I'm not doing design. I've loved teaching since I was this big and teaching to pretend people in my basement. So it kind of makes sense that I love teaching design. And because I'm very right brain as a designer, but also very left brain and linear and logical, I have a way of breaking down design so I make it very accessible for people, not just teaching business practice to designers, but teaching design to design lovers or designers. So it's a pleasure to come out here every Tuesday, stop what we're doing at our design studio, and we come out and talk to you. In this case, raced back up from the Philadelphia airport so I can come back here, catch up on a little bit of email, do 700 other things with my team as I got back into the saddle, and then we put a pin in it all to come out and talk to you. Now, today I'm going to talk to you, of course, about the Highpoint Furniture Market. What were the takeaways? If you're on my email list, sorry, an incorrect email went out today telling you I was talking about a different topic. Hey, we were away at market. All hell was breaking loose. So I don't know how that one slipped through the cracks. Sorry if you showed up for a different topic, but today it's all about design trends. And who does not love a talk about design trends, especially if you're a red-blooded, design brain genius that you are. You want to know, what are the trends and what does it mean, what I see at market? So if you were following my feed at IDH Designs on Instagram, you saw me posting throughout the show what I was seeing. I was trying as best as I can to post as much as I can, but it's such a rigorous schedule, meaning I've got a gajillion appointments forced into a very finite schedule. So we're just running and going and kind of eating while we're flying along. So here are the exciting takeaways. It was a beautiful market. Oh my goodness. So on my Instagram feed at IDH Designs, I put out, hey, if you've got questions, go ahead and ask me. And somebody wanted to know, what are the trends in furniture? So today in this Facebook Live, I'm not going to get visual. If you've been here before, you know that this is a chat. It's a fireside chat. You want to get visual? Take one of my online courses. If you want to see all my pictures from market and you're in my VIP group, or you want to join my VIP meetup, you can do that by going to our website, The Interior Design Advocate, and you can see all that. But I'm going to talk you through what the trends are and paint some pictures with words. And as we talk about the trends, I'm going to talk first about furniture upholstery. And I'm going to tell you that it's sort of like three camps. If you wanted to divide it up in the simplest terms, there are three camps that the upholstery fell into. One would be very rectilinear, square shapes, track arms, tuxedo arms, every version of a track arm you could imagine, 8-inch track, big wide track arms, or really interesting track arms that then suddenly took a left turn into the seat cushion. Beautiful detailing and experimentation on that. But the overall shape of that sofa or chair was pretty darn square. Still seeing a lot of square tufting. We're seeing channel tufting still, vertical, horizontal as well as vertical. And an interesting trend within that trend of boxier kinds of silhouettes we saw a couple of resources. It was as if they, you know, when you blow up a beach ball, there's that thing you blow on. It was as if there was one of those on the back of these sofas and someone went, poof, and this thing just went and just blew up and got really puffy looking and rounded within a square shape. Just looked like if you put a pin in it, you could deflate it. A couple of resources and show houses were doing that. Showrooms were doing that. I'll be curious to see how much that takes off. It was interesting looking. I liked some of it, didn't like some of it. So also within that kind of square boxy shape, something I loved that I've seen starting to build, and it certainly took off in this last market. Furniture that had an exposed metal frame that held up the seat and arms. It might be just along the bottom rail of the sofa, or it might go all the way around the arms and around the back. So good looking. And sometimes it was done in metal, in a shiny brushed, a polished nickel. Sometimes it was done in a black or a dark oil rub bronze. Sometimes it was done in stained wood or painted wood. Really, really good looking. So this idea of furniture floating or even looking as if sometimes it's cantilevered, and certainly that's a more modern type of thing, right? So that boxier look in upholstery was one camp. There was another camp that we started to see in the last couple of markets. I'm going to call it that sinuous, curvy look. Think 1940s Hollywood. Think retro 1980s, whether it's a chaise that just sort of kind of comes in and curves, whether it's a sofa sectional that actually curves into an S, full back or a partial back, and then some of it's backless. A lot of experimentation on these curvy round shapes, and some of them were simply kidney sofas. And feel free to Google kidney sofa if you don't know what that term means. In fact, you can write down anything I'm sharing with you and do some Googling. And of course, something that's back that I love to bits. I love these ball pillows, and certainly it's a pillow that's shaped like a ball. And on these really curvy, sinuous kind of upholstered shapes, we were also seeing these ball pillows. A lot of fun. So the only other trend I would then the third camp. So we have that boxy squared look, kind of mid-century modern or modern. Then we had that sinuous, curvy kidney sofa, also more modern or modern retro. Then, of course, there's that classic traditional. For those of you who say, look, I hate all that stuff. I still want a little bit of curve and a little bit of refinement to my stuff. You can have it. There are still some show houses or showrooms, design houses. Sorry, I'm super tired. Didn't sleep very much the last several days. Some design houses are still showing, you know, a little bit of an English arm or a slightly ruled arm, but there's a delicacy to it. There's a refinement to it. It's not crazy chunky. And within those classic forms, those traditional forms, look, Ralph Lauren, his showroom, he still has Chesterfield sofas that look amazing, either in a velvet or in a leather. So if you are a traditionalist, chances are you're more transitional than traditional, and that's really where most of those more traditional leaning showrooms are still going. It's more transitional, where it's a fresh, updated look, okay? Did I see, you know, there was one showroom, I didn't go into it, that was very, very French and froofy and kind of trying to dive back into that French provincial feeling. I know there are clients out there that want that, mine don't, so I really didn't have the time to go in there, even though I find it very beautiful. I will say, though, the Hickory Chair showroom, they had some beautiful work. I think it was Suzanne Kassler's design for them, some of which started to lean in a French influence, but it was very fresh and it wasn't overly detailed or overly ornamental. The Theodore Alexander showroom, they had a collection that looked very heavily ornamented, and I don't see that coming back very, very quickly, but there'll always be clients who love a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So what I mentioned, those three camps, boxy, square, more mid-century modern influenced, then contemporary with that really curvy kind of vibe, and then classic / transitional, okay? So that's where I would put things. But something else I would just put out there too that was really exciting that we've seen happening for a while, accent chairs that really say something. They are unusual in shape, or they're made of all metal. They look like pressed metal. We saw these kind of eye candy things happening. as well. Let's talk about metal colors. We saw it all. We saw as much gold as we did silvers, as much as we saw black. I'm going to say black and oil rub bronze at the same time. Sometimes it was a little more black leaning, sometimes it was a little bit more oil rub bronze leaning. Saw both of them. There was the only metal that was absent for about a minute and a half a couple of years ago. We saw some rose colored metal. Didn't see any of that. But Katie and I were talking as we were dashing between appointments and saying, you know, we don't see any one metal color steamrolling any other metal color. We kind of saw an equal representation of all of it. So there's that. So what about color? What were the color trends? And I'll be happy to take your trend questions if you have any before I wrap out and take a nap. So if you saw this question answered on my feed, pardon me for the repetition, but good things are worth repeating. It was an ocean of the color cream and white. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. Now, I know some of you are rolling your eyes saying, look, I've got a dog, I've got kids, I got a hubs. What up with the creams and the whites? I get it, but don't panic. There are ways to do it. We'll talk about it in a sec. But I'm just going to tell you what we saw in largest format down to the smallest. Creams and whites, big, 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 big. And then we saw sands and tans, absolutely, and brown. Yes, rich, rich chocolate brown. Starting to see that sprinkled out there. And then in terms of the grays, we saw pale gray. Usually it was a little warmer, but not always. And then charcoal. We went from pale gray up into a lot of charcoal and a little bit of black as accents. And probably the biggest color that we saw was still blue, that kind of gray blue. Then when you were moving through these oceans of cream, you know, showrooms that had these gorgeous, you know, displays one after the other and stunning furniture in terms of fabric colors and such, lots of cream and then a splash of a color. So the colors were generally blue that was being splashed, sometimes a pine or olive green. I'll tell you what we didn't see at all. Zero red, just zero. Almost completely absent was the color purple. I think Alexa Hampton in her showroom had something stunning in purple, but again, it was a couple of designers that stepped out in their collections. I think Jamie Drake had something that had a little bit of depth in one of these bright colors as well. Didn't really see anything in fuchsia. Saw some blush, but nowhere near to the degree that we saw in prior years. And that emerald green that I happen to adore, barely saw that. Again, little bursts of it. Little teeny bursts of goldenrod versus 1 and 2 markets ago. We saw a lot, and 3 markets ago, we saw a lot of the goldenrod. So what does this mean to you? What does this all mean to you? I'll tell you what it means to you. Almost nothing. What? What it really means to you is what you'll be able to find easily in the stores and what you'll see on Instagram feeds and what you'll see, you know, at catalogers. But I got to tell you, I could give a rat's rump whether the color emerald green is trending or not, because I happen to love it. So in my home, I'm redesigning my office, which is moving. I've already put 2 gorgeous emerald green chairs into that room, and I did the same thing in my family room because that color makes me feel great. So I want you to lean into the colors that you love. The design greats of the world, both those who have passed on and those who are alive today, I guarantee they do not sit down with their staff before they start a project and say, what color should we stay away from because it's off trend? No, what's right for the client, what's right for the person I'm designing for. And the thing that makes a color trendy, my lovelies, I've said this before, is the way it is applied. It is not the color itself. Color is color, like numbers. Numbers aren't good or bad. Colors aren't good or bad. Color is color. So it's what you do with it that makes it trendy. I'll give this example again. If you've been with me, sorry for the repetition, but a couple of years ago, that whole restoration hardware, gray everywhere look, gray on the furniture stains and furniture paints and gray on the fabrics and gray on the wall. I've got a client now who had a furniture store do that for him. He said, my basement's driving me crazy. I'm in an ocean of gray. That was a trendy look. But if you think I'm not using gray in my design, guess again, gray is a great color. It looks great with camel brown. It looks great as a foil with white. It's a great neutralizer and balancer with so many colors. It looks beautiful with blue. So looks gorgeous with plum. Looks great with, you know, emerald green. So it's don't be afraid of color because of these color forecasts, okay? The thing that dates it is the way it is applied, or a design style that started to get very, very trendy, and then you pull out of it. So hopefully that helps you. Oh, case goods. We didn't talk about wood furniture. We saw really light finishes, soft white woods, cerused woods, where color seems like it's almost where wood is kind of wire brushed and then paint applied, or stain applied to it, rather, a stain. So it almost becomes like a little bit of a two-tone. You can see this variation in the wood, so a lot of that cerusing effect. But everything from blonde stained woods to very pale painted woods on up to richly deep, stained pieces. And again, depends upon the furniture style. In the Ralph Lauren showroom, we saw darker things being done. In the Alexa Hampton showroom, we saw a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Real eclecticism in terms of those wood finishes. And in a Suzanne Kassler, her stuff was really very light and pale and washed. And it's interesting. I was talking to a Floridian designer, Floridian-based designer, and we were at an outdoor, I forget which outdoor showroom we were, but everything in this particular line came in white, black, or brown. And I said, for my clients in the Northeast, we're doing a lot of black and black finishes on the outdoor furniture, the wovens, or browns. And I said, I'm guessing you're doing a lot of white. Oh, it's not browns. I'm sorry. Black, gray, and white. I said, I bet you're doing a lot of the grays and whites, and I'm doing a lot of the deep grays into darks. She said, you're exactly right. So part of the trending talk I'm giving to you guys is also affected by the region of the country where you live or where you practice. So there's that. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, lighting. Oh, lighting. Exciting stuff happening in lighting. These wonderful LED almost like floating sculpture. They look like they're just hung from invisible wire. It's just great. We've seen these, happening and developing for several years. They're still going strong and they're fabulous. Still seeing globes, sometimes metals combined with woods, but still the globe was popular. Globe cages, or just globe, opaque glass, where it's kind of a Sputnik, or it's a variation of a Sputnik, these ambling kind of Sputnik-based fixtures as well. So I saw a lot of interesting things, met with some fantastic private label groups that you guys can't touch as non-design professionals. Oh, questions are coming in. Stop talking, Donna. Oh my gosh, some of the shaping and so good. I wish I could take you with me in my pocket to market. You would flip. You would just pop your cork. You would love it to bits. It's an insane amount of beauty and inspo to take in. It really is. I didn't sleep well because I generally don't sleep well, especially in hotels. Anybody else have a problem sleeping in hotels? I do. No matter how many melatonin chewies I take. Now, I don't OD on those things, but usually 4 puts me enough out. This wasn't working. But I was waking up in the middle of the night thinking about everything I had just seen. So there it is. All right, questions, give them to me. I'm happy to answer you. Trend questions, give them to me. Let me help you. All right, so as I dig into questions, first I'm going to see who's here. I'm saying getting hellos from people. I'm getting all my hellos from my gorgeous peeps on Insta. Jennifer McCann loves watching my feeds. I'm so glad, Jen. I love having you here. Jennifer saying my favorite colors: cream, rich chocolate, brown, and of course black. Jen and I are sisters from another mother. I like it. I like it, Jen. Sandra's happy to be seeing the blue. Sandy Smith is saying, I've been looking forever for a white sofa and chairs. Oh, so I told you what to do if the whole white thing is making you crazy in upholstered colors. 2 things. Definitely look into indoor-outdoor fabrics that are a little more forgiving. And be careful where you put them. On the main sofa, maybe that's where you want to saturate a little bit more, just a little more. And then it's the accent pillows that go into a white fluffy fur. Or, yeah, that, and get white through the space, in your accessories. And maybe one accent chair goes into an indoor-outdoor white boucle. Oh, those boucles at market, so good. Every iteration of boucle you can imagine. First Lady Bless is saying, I'm having a difficult time finding high quality case goods. I need to hire a designer. Yes, you do. We should talk about furniture delays and the crazy crap that is going on. Oh my gosh. I probably shouldn't have said that word just now, but I did. I will, if you guys want to hear about the furniture delays and what's driving them, I'll be happy to talk to you about that. Just shove it in a comment. Sandy said, okay, answer Sandy. Heidi loves emerald green too. Heidi, you should come over. We should have tea. You can sit in one of my green chairs. Getting hellos here. More people loving cream. Kawhi Kerr says, hi Donna, I love watching your feeds. Can you elaborate more on paint color trends, specifically for open layouts? Okay, Kanwal. Okay, paint trends for open. Okay, yeah. So if I said gallery white, does that make sense to you guys? If you go to a museum, which I hope you guys are doing, you go look at a bunch of paintings. Generally speaking, things are not on colorful walls because it detracts from the artwork. They want you to focus on the artwork. So museums tend to paint their walls what color? Gallery white. But if you look at white as a color, it's complicated. There are 7 gajillion undertones. It feels like they can go a little gray, they can go a little yellow, they can go a little brown, they can go a little green, they can go a little blue, they can go a little purple, blah, blah, blah. So when you're looking to do a gallery white wall, which is a big trend, you want to, for contiguous space, try to roll it through as much of that space as possible. The best way to do that is to look at your fixed elements, your fireplace stone or marble, your cabinetry, and back the color out of those elements. Make sure you get a white that's in agreement there, and then you can move it through the rest of the residence on the first floor. And if you have a place where you can or need to, rather, make a break, hopefully it's a more distinct room. Maybe you break from the foyer, living room, dining room, and then in the kitchen great room, maybe that's where you break into something different. So in terms of paint trends, I would say that the gallery white wall is still really important. But I have to tell you, you don't have to use a white to get that feeling. You can use, I think we're showing City Loft as a color we're showing to a client tomorrow, Thursday, because she felt that the original palette we showed her was a little bit too white. Please remember, when you look at white paints, always take a piece of white, printing paper and put it next to the paint color you're looking at, because it will automatically show you how warm or cold the paint color is that you're looking at. Because in contrast to the white paper you're looking at it against, that's what will make that reveal, that will become apparent to you. Always, always, always look at white in comparison to a stark white. That's your paper. So I would say that you can get that white wall feeling in a very, very washed out gray, in a very, very washed out cream, in a very, very washed out tan. So it doesn't have to be uber white, but it still gives you that feeling of these gallery white walls, as opposed to 15 years ago when the living room had a blue paint and the dining room had a lighter blue paint, and then the kitchen was in a pale yellow, and then that's the trend that we are still not seeing. Steve is writing like mad. There are a lot of questions coming in. Please tell me, Kawal, if I, God, I don't know if I said your name properly at that time. I might have. Yeah, Conwal. Conwal, please tell me if I helped you sufficiently, or if you have a follow-up question. Okay, answer that. Steve, stop writing. I'm getting a lot of questions. I can't keep up. Kristen Steeper is saying, are dark leather sectionals out of style? Kristen, I can't say that I saw many of them at market. Spam phone call coming in. Bye-bye, spam. But I mean, I saw charcoal sofas, and I saw interesting things happening with leather, a lot of butterscotches, a lot of different brown iterations, and some colorful leathers for accent chairs. I mean, pale, pale gray, pale, that's not really neutral, sorry. I saw a beautiful pale blue on a bed. It was stunning. Yes, headboard and footboard upholstered in a pale blue leather. Crazy good looking. So Kristen, dark leather sectionals. No, I don't think they're gone now. Ralph Lauren showroom. There it was. If you're designing, I don't know, Mountain Lodge look in Utah or in Denver. What's the matter? Steve's cursing something.
Sound went out on Instagram.
Sound went out on Instagram. Uh-oh. Should we come back on Instagram?
You may have done something when you closed your phone.
Did I? Did I do something? What should I do? Should I tap it again? Did that help? Can you hear me now? I don't know. I'm sorry. Sorry, Insta. What do you want me to do? Steve's going to think of something. One second.
When you answered the phone.
When I answered the phone, I
You're
didn't,
muted.
I muted?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want me to do?
Try your phone.
Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Wait a sec. All right, so I'm still going to talk to you guys. Let's see what Facebook has to say. Okay. Arnell, Ramsey, Christie. Okay, sorry, no, I skipped a question. Linda said, "Are blue painted kitchen cabinets trendy?" I love them, Linda. I'm doing them. I think if you have deep pockets, do whatever you want. If you want something that's gonna have super, super long lifetime, you probably want to do that blue more like on an island rather than everywhere. Unless you just want to love it and live in it because that's what makes you happy. Alrighty. Ornell says, "What's up with the furniture delays?" And Nettie Murray wants to know, yes, what's driving the delays? Okay, this is not going to please you, this question, this answer, but I'm going to give it to you. Alrighty.
Try this.
Try this. Okay, sorry for the really, oh dear, what did I do? Done. Sorry. We have such bad camera view there. Hold the phone. Can you hear me now? Is anybody even on right now? Am I still live? I don't even know.
You have to hit the button.
Oh, hit the button. Checking for connection. Sorry. I'm going to make this really worth your while for hanging in there. Guys, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me? All right, hopefully you can hear me. It's crooked, but it's okay. Alrighty. So what is driving the furniture delays is the question we just got. COVID. When COVID happened, here's what happened. Everybody stayed home. We're good. Okay, good. You can hear me. Good. Everybody stayed home and started looking at their four walls and said, oh, I got to do something with my home. Demand for home furnishings skyrocketed. Stunned the heck out of all of us in the industry. We didn't know what was going to happen with COVID. Demand surged. I'm going to give you an example of surge in demand. I was talking to an executive from a major furniture brand, and he said at any given time, we have open orders of about $6 to $9 million worldwide, or in the United States for the U.S. business, as well as whatever else is coming into us. Yeah, that would be worldwide. What is an open order? That means that a customer put in an order. The company is calling it an open order, meaning it's in production, but it's not finished yet. Isn't finished and hasn't gone out the door. So if they're used to having between $6 and $9 million in open orders, meaning things in process, right now, he said, we have $65 million in open orders. That's a sick surge in demand. Now you add to that supply chain disruptions because of COVID. So there aren't enough dock workers to get the shipped containers unloaded when things come in from overseas. But Donna, you say, my furniture is being made in the United States. Well, do you have a sectional sofa? There are clips that go underneath those sectional pieces to keep it together. Those come in from, what is it? I was talking to you about this. Vietnam. Those come in from Vietnam. Do you have the little metal ferrules at the bottom of a beautiful table? Those come in from Vietnam. Vietnam was shut down, literally on lockdown for 2 months. No production was happening. There was already a shipment. Containers are what sits on the back of a flatbed truck. You've seen them blow past you on the highway. Those containers are filled with product and loaded onto ships. So they come into a U.S. port, loaded onto a flatbed truck, and brought somewhere. Well, there's a shortage of containers pre-COVID. Now with COVID, when containers do show up at a dock, there aren't enough dock workers to get them off and unloaded. That causes another delay. So pieces and components are late in coming over. Once they come over, it's hard to get them unloaded. There's a shortage of truck drivers in the United States. So there are containers and containers sitting, waiting to be picked up. Can't do anything about it. Talking to furniture manufacturers the last couple of days, they said, yeah, when we finished an order, usually it would get loaded onto a container and it would get up to you in Philadelphia probably in 2 to 3 weeks. Now it's coming up to you in about 6 weeks because we've got containers waiting to be picked up. We can't get drivers. So it's labor shortages, it's componentry shortages, and it's demand surge. So that is what's causing these delays. You want to know how long we're quoting custom furniture to people based upon my conversations this week? The best we were hearing was 7 months. The worst, 10 months and 12 months. Yes, depends upon the category of goods. So far, I find rugs are on the shorter order, maybe 6-7 months. Hopefully that helps you, and hopefully that didn't depress you too much. We should meet for a cocktail. Alrighty, so here we go. Answered that. Okay. When finding leather furniture, this is from the world of Twill, the world of leather. Twill, the world of leather. When finding leather furniture, is it easy to identify if they are real or fake leather? I can. Usually, I don't know how to teach you guys to do it. I'm sure there's a trick, but I guess I've just been doing it long enough. I can generally tell. But really good faux leathers, you can't always tell. And here's what you guys definitely can't tell. When you're dealing with composite leathers that are things that have been kind of chewed up, put back together again to make them look like they're real leather, but then they flake after a year. So when you see these super cheap faux leather sofas at like a Costco or online, or nothing personal Costco, listen, people want a lower cost product, you're putting it out there, that's great. But don't expect something super low cost like that to perform the way a fine hide leather would, or really high quality faux leather. There's an expression I teach my students. You will never get something for less. You will get something less for less. You got to be prepared to kind of hang on with that. All righty, so other comments. This is a funny one. Jackson said, I would lose my mind at the market. You would, Sandra. We'd have such a good time looking for your mind and my mind. It's so fun. It's so good. Okay, people, Ornell's telling me she likes the creams. Okay. Answered that about delays. Okay, Lynn Lambert Fortner saying, I'm seeing a lot of light flooring in the southeastern United States, but I have a medium brown flooring. Can you mix espresso wood tables with light colored floors like mine? Yes, you can. Sharon's Rudd Styles, tell us about furniture delays. Did that. Nettie did that. Okay, Home Decor Life Love. How are you, Home Decor Life Love? Did navy still show a strong presence? Navy is a classic color. We saw some of it, but not a lot of it. I tell you, white and cream dominated. Unbelievable. Now, I don't know, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I wonder if white and cream dominated in the showrooms because the manufacturers were trying to make it easy to just get as much product on the floor as possible. And so they leaned heavily into a single few fabrics. I don't know. Maybe that's probably a bunch of nonsense, but who knows? I did see some navy, but it was not a massive, massive presence the way it has been in other years. First Lady Valesta is saying, is wallpaper in or out for feature walls? In, love it. Wallpaper's hot. So much innovation happening in wallpaper. Leather papers, cork paper still happening. Crushed quartz paper still happening. Leather, woven leathers, stitched leathers, quilted papers. I mean, just, so good. I should just show you some good stuff one of these days. I do that with my VIP students. I don't think to do that. I know, I got a bunch of hearts. These are not visual. I keep telling you, these are not visual. These are little fireside chats. Rachel G. What was the answer about dark leather? Yep, you can still do it. Let's see. Jill Kenikio. Hi, Jill. Is saying, should a small sitting room be lighter than other than dark colors? I'm sorry. I'm mixing questions. Jill Kenikio, did you see any kitchen stool styles for an island? Yeah, everything. We saw from rounds to really squared backs, all wood, cantilevered on metal frames. Metal frames are definitely having a moment in kitchen island stools. The problem with, I love these metal frames on sofas because who moves their sofa? Nobody. Who moves their big club chair on a metal frame? Nobody. But dining chairs on metal frames, they are good looking. We saw them. And kitchen stools on metal frames, they're good looking. We saw them. But they are heavy as the devil. So I don't think they're easy to work with. So, but if it's swiveling, there's that. So you think, I don't have to move it around. But I just put that out there to you. Hopefully that helps you, Jill, real quick. Sandy Smith, should a small sitting room, okay, be lighter other than dark color? Sandy, that's not a trend question. I'm trying to take trend questions. You should take my Decorating Genius online course. I put a link in about that. It will explain to you the answer that you need based upon who you are and what you're trying to do with your space, because your fabulous question, Sandy Smith, is actually bigger than you even realize. That's why you're so fabulous and smart for asking it. DB Investment MSJ said, what was the answer about using wallpaper as an accent? Well, do it. You can go for it. Wallpaper's hot. Say hi to your sister-in-law, Kim. Kim! Is Kim on Instagram now? Hey, Kim, I love you. We have to schedule that dinner. My favorite restaurant in Philly. Why don't you call me? We'll do it. Okay. Somebody, Kristen Tucker Streeper, she ordered a gray-blue sectional sofa January 15th. It's still floating around. Did it ship somewhere, question mark? It's still floating around or shipped somewhere, or it's not even made. Kristen, we got a notice from a very well-respected trade partner and furniture show house that we love, and they said that chaise that you ordered for your client back in February, it's built, but there's no foam. Oh, that's the other thing, foam shortage. Have you guys heard about that? Massive foam shortage. It's built, but there are no cushions because we can't build the foam. So we have no idea when we can fulfill this order for you. It's built, but it is not going to be able to ship because we don't have foam. We had a vendor down at the market say, oh yeah, a lot of your order, all of your fabrics are all cut for all of your upholstery that you ordered for that entire home. All the fabrics are cut. They're rolled up. They're waiting. We have no foam. Can't build anything yet. We built your frame, but you have no cushions. There it is. Two people are asking for another wine and design. Did you like that? You guys are so cute. That was fun. That was pretty tiring for me. It was 2.5 hours of gloriousness. There were 100 women, design lovers, on Zoom with me. So everybody was on camera. We were all drinking our wine. Some people drinking tea and coffee. We love you too, and water or whatever. And we were designing together. We might launch that as a paid program for people to do every now and again. So if you want to talk to us about that, shoot me a DM and we'll see. I'm so glad you guys liked it though. That was hilarious, a hoot, and you guys got a lot of value out of that, I know, and I loved seeing what you were working on. Okay, hi, I love watching your feeds. Can you elaborate more on what? I don't know what you wanted me to elaborate on. Oh, I did elaborate. Okay. Suzanne is saying, I have black and white photos and pictures on my basement wall. Okay, Suzanne, I'm taking trend questions instead of project questions. Sorry, kiddo. Okay, everybody's saying it's making sense what I'm talking about. Lynn's asking, what's the best material for area rugs in high traffic areas? I would say wool or an indoor-outdoor rug. Sandra, I'm putting leftover wallpaper from one fireplace mantle in a closet behind wall shelves. We still see that as a trend. Still can do that, no problem. Easy peasy. I like it. Sandra Jackson, please do another wine and design, maybe for the holidays. That's such a good idea, Steve. That's a really good idea to do wine and design for the holidays. 2 more people said, yes, we'll pay for wine and design. Okay. Listen, I'm open to your suggestions, guys. I try to teach what I think you need to know, but I'm open to doing what you want too. Because I know some of what I know you need, you don't want. Like space planning. Hello? You need that? Sharon Rudd is saying, Sharon Rudd Styles, any advice on going with custom slip cover instead of reupholstering? I found 2 great hickory white club chairs at a high-end consignment shop. I'm going to recover them. Here's the story, guys. Slip covers are definitely still on trend. We still see them. It's a look. It can be a little bit more beachy. Can be more casual, but not necessarily. Certainly saw them at market. You need a really good shop to make your slip covers for you if that's what you're doing. And you have to watch that they're not going to slouch around and shift around so much that it looks too shabby chic for you, unless you're going for that look. Reupholstering is always a great thing to do if you have a good quality frame. A good quality frame is worth recovering. A meh quality frame is not necessarily worth recovering unless you're living through COVID. And you say, I can't stand my sofa. I do not want to wait 1,000 years or 12 months or 10 months for my new sofa. What do I do? Well, you might want to consider reupholstering, but here's the rub. if your sofa is of the older order, even if it's an excellent quality, very often those cushions need a little bit of extra love inside. So I would talk to a great reupholsterer and say, do my cushions need a little oomping up when you reupholster? And if so, do you have the materials, or am I going to have a long wait? That said, guys, I want to warn you, fabric is back ordering as well. Where's fabric coming from? India, China. China keeps getting shut down with power outage. Right, Steve? The electrical grid over there? Yeah, he's nodding. I mean, we have some upholstery that's being held up because the fabric is on back order. It's just such a mess that you have to laugh. And often I'm not laughing about it. I drove Steve crazy with a phone call this weekend while I was away. I was a total crab apple. I'd like to publicly apologize to my honey. Hello, he's laughing. He's laughing now. I think he wanted to hang up on me. I keep internalizing the stress of COVID delays, and I don't want to upset my clients. I don't want them to be disappointed. But it's not like I'm carrying your cream sofa in my back pocket, or like I have your chair in my trunk. So this just is what it is. We'll have to accept that this is what it is. And I'm going to start putting a big disclaimer at the bottom of all my emails that either explains the delays, or I'm just going to say, this is what it is. Chris Betts is saying rug trends. Yeah, so Chris, we saw everything, really. I mean, a lot of texture, a lot of everything that followed the color palettes that I mentioned earlier. A lot of fluffies, because we're still seeing a lot of fluffies and fabrics as accents, bouclés and furs. So we are seeing some longer, fluffier rugs, but we're still seeing beautiful wovens, etc. I can't say that I saw something that was out. I'll tell you what we're seeing a little less of now that I think about it. Remember that account? Oh God, I'm tired. I'm sorry. What, Steve? What's this shape again? The
Paisley?
no, not paisley. I'm sorry. I'm beyond tired. Seeing a little less of this certain type of medallion. It'll come to me. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed. It's going to come to me as soon as I sign out. 2 last questions. Steven's telling me. Kind of lattice. Oh no, it was not lattice. I'm sorry. It'll come to me. The biggest trend in rugs I saw had to do with these fluffier textures. It's not a new trend. I just see it developing. Last 2 questions. Is oak and cherry furniture still in? Not seeing a lot of cherry, that like red stained cherry, or the cabrio, the queen, the cabriole leg. Definitely not seeing that in that dark cherry finish that was really big in the 80s and the 90s. Oak furniture, I mean, there were some showrooms that showed it more. It depends, if they were doing more of a kind of a mission style. Again, that's not my clients. So I didn't really pay attention to those. And it was not the major theme at all, coming from all the major brands and design thought leading and the people who are paving the way in design. Moroccan design, Judy, it's not a big, what about Moroccan design trends? And Sandra's asking also, it's not a big push. It doesn't mean it's not a tangential smaller push. Same thing with, that whole Ralph Lauren Lodge look. It was not the biggest story at market, but there is a pocket of that for people who want that. So did I answer you? So if you love Moroccan, lean into it. Chris Drug Ellis is saying, any trends you hated that made you say, oh no, not that? Well, what if I'm doing it for a client right now? No, I'm teasing. I couldn't say. This is such a good question. Thank you for asking. I can't say that there was a trend that I saw that I thought, oh, please make it go away. There were a couple of things I saw and I went, well, that's interesting. Or a couple of things I saw and I thought, somebody over-designed. Take the pen away from the furniture designer. She or he just kept drawing detail and they got a little over crazy. Take the pen away. So I will see something like that, sometimes at market. Yeah, I saw some lighting that was so blingy that I thought it was actually ugly, just so overdone and awful. There are 2 design styles that I don't prefer. And if a client wanted to hire me into them, I would tell them I'm not their designer. But I'm not going to tell you what those are till the day I retire. And then we'll have tea on my emerald green chairs, and then I'll tell you what they are. Wallpaper pattern trends, just accent walls. Now you could do wallpaper all over in a pattern. You have to be able to tolerate pattern, but it's gorgeous. So No, 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 no. You don't have to just do accent walls with wallpaper, not at all. First Lady Valesta, I know we said 8 questions ago, but I'm having a good time, and I think I just got my second wind. Must have been my little snack before, after I got off the plane, maybe. I don't know. What is the trend on linear light and rectangular dining tables? It's good. What is the trend on linear light and rectangular? Yeah, you can do it. They're still showing a lot of long linear fixtures. They were good looking. Go for it. Amy Hughes 3442. Get some sleep, Donna. Many thanks for this market preview. Amy, you're a sweetie. Thank you so much. I'll work on it. Bathroom trends. We didn't look at any of that Bramera at the show. That this was really, it's called the furniture. It's the Highpoint Furniture Market. So it really is furnishings, lighting, rugs, all the stuff that gets loaded into a room. Not really bath. So I would prefer to take your bathroom question when I'm doing a kitchen and bath Insta Live and Facebook Live, if it's okay with you, because we've been on for a while now, and I know I've overstayed my welcome. So listen, what are we talking about next time? I'll tell you what we're talking about next time by popular demand and request, because we had to cancel it. People want to know my story, how I flipped into becoming an interior designer from a very different career prior, and how that what made me do it, how I did it, and how I was able to build the successful business that I have today. So for those of you who want to increase your success in design businesses, or if you're thinking of hopping into one, or you just spend time with us and you're curious, I hope you join us this coming Tuesday, a week from today, 4 p.m. Eastern, and I'll be telling you that story. I've been shy about telling it, but I'll tell it to you because you asked, so I'm going to do it. All right, guys. Great seeing you, and we'll see you next week, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thank you. Hi, this is Donna. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below so I know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Design Advocates channel so you don't miss any of our great content.